Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Politically Incorrect Knitters in the early morning. I'm Deplorable Knitter. The lovely girl is Ann Pinkova. She looks fabulous. I look like my kids got me sick, which is actually what's going on over here. So,
Well, I apologize for the early hour, but I have a fiber fair I'm going to later, and I'm really excited and wanted to get I have to drive out of town for it, so I wanted to get an early start, and yes,
I
I'm including
know,
everyone else.
I know. I was having phone problems, and so I'm on my husband's phone. It's not working right. So just sorry, guys. Good morning. It's Saturday. We're here. It was a long week here. I don't know. Ann, how was your week? Pretty good?
Good, kind of on the longest side, but good.
Yeah.
Got stuff done.
Yeah, that's good. So we're doing the Chicken Lady Fiber Arts ornament giveaway. I don't have it right here. I was having some technical issues, but it's the beautiful kit with the ornament and the thing, and I'll go get it in a minute and I'll show you guys. But
Sure.
she's our
And
sponsor. We love her. Use the
we do.
code baby20PIK to get 20% off of your order this month because
All
she's wonderful and fabulous.
get
Yeah.
beautiful yarns of hers. Our colorway, still a knockout. Lovely. But also for the challenge we're about to announce, I don't have a lovely skeined up version. I'm just mid thing because I'm knitting a shawl. But she also has a lovely, just slightest bit variegated yarn called Blackety Black, which may be important for this challenge. So, and
Maybe.
maybe actually incredibly important. But yeah, it's baby 20 PIK is a promo code for 20% off, and you can use it for yarn of any color, not just crazy stuff we're doing.
Yes, but once you hear what we're doing, you may also want to use it for that because, I'm sure that she's going to be thrilled with all the orders of black yarn that are going to be coming in. Sorry, Lynn. We still love you.
Exactly. No, I did message her about the challenge, and she's like, "What? Okay, we should just say before insinuating and the rest of it."
Yes. Tell the
So,
lovely people what's happening.
all right, new knitting challenge, everybody. As you saw in the graphic,
I
yes.
just want to say that this is all Anne and the fact that she's been reading Solomon Kane. This is the kind of thing that she finds amusing. And because I also think that her jokes are funny, I go along with it.
Well,
So,
we were saying the other day about it's just weird stuff I find funny and then impose upon other people. Like I was explaining to you the whole Magneto Hanukkah sock thing and why that's hilarious to me personally.
yes.
And
And I get it now. And it is
yeah,
funny.
yeah. I mean, I laughed my butt off. I still haven't made the socks yet. I'm laughing all the way to knit my socks. So
Speaking of socks, I had to pull some out because it's in the 50s and I'm outside. But look at my socks. Anne made them for me. I went in looking for a pair that my mom made, and then I'm like, oh, Anne, almost the same. Good.
there
Okay.
you go. Now you're on Wiki Feet. So how do you feel?
I don't know what that is.
Good.
Some weird, crazy, gross foot thing. I'm good.
Yeah. Where you can look up celebrities' feet.
Why?
Because people are sick. Anyways.
Mm-hmm. I look old today. I'm sorry, guys. I have my makeup on.
It's okay. And I look like death, which is worse than old. Anyways. So we have.
So, Tara says that the logo is fire because it is, and also funny.
It is so cool. That the lady who did the logo is the same that did our stickers, and we were going back and forth about it, and I am so pleased with that logo. The graphic is I don't think I wrote down the name of the artist, but the title of the original painting is Puritans Going to Church, and I love it. It's fantastic. Anyways, sorry,
Yes.
I was just reading
I'm
Adam's.
apparently joining Tabitha and Neil in Boomerville. I don't know exactly where that is or why I'm there, but thanks.
Sounds like it's from Tennessee. Right next to Margaritaville.
Ooh, I could go. Well, no, I don't like margaritas, but something else would be
It's the
fine.
thought that counts.
Right. Okay. So anyway.
Anyways, sorry, to the point of this. The Puritanical Knitting Fun Run.
Did I write that right on the thing? I don't think I did. I think I said Puritan. That's fine. The Puritanical Knitting Fun Run.
Yes. So this is a challenge that is going from October to November. Spooky season, but also a really big time for American history and Puritans, because in October you have Halloween and everyone talks about the Salem witch trials. And then in November is Thanksgiving. So also massive Puritan event. And yeah, this is, the Puritans have, well, first off, their reputation has been impugned a lot. I'm not saying that they were right all the time, but I am saying that they had a lot of positive contributions to our country. So we're going to be doing on the channel, we're going to be doing like little tiny history bits about the Puritans, because American history is awesome. But
on the channel, Anne's going to be doing little tiny history bits, because I'm going to be learning right along with you guys.
It's going to be fun. But for the knitting challenge, it's going to be great. For the knitting challenge itself, it's not going to be as involved as Shark Week. Don't worry, anybody. No, this is chill.
Nobody has time for that.
Nobody has time for that, except we do a little, but nobody has time for it. Okay, it's going to be mostly Instagram challenge. Though, of course, if you don't use Instagram, you can email us still with your entries. But basically, any project that is about 3/4 black yarn counts for the Puritanical Knitting Fun Run. That is the most essential part of the rules. It is a mostly black project. Even though Puritans did wear real colors, it's kind of part of the image that, you have your dour black outfit. And also, knitting in black is a pain in the butt. So it adds to the challenge. And I know that there's a lot of people who are like, oh, well, this would be really nice in black, but I don't want to. Here is your opportunity. There's, yes, Tara says quarter black Garrett is excluded. It's like, oh, he can submit a project. Works in progress count. It says knitting in the title, but really any project, knitting, spinning, crochet, weaving. If you whip out some black leather, well, then that's just good for you. But we're going to, anyways.
Here's Adam's, by the pricking on my thumb, something knitting related this way comes.
Right.
So there you go.
Right. But yeah, that's basically any finished projects are eligible for the giveaways, but we're going to do a giveaway for finished projects, but we are also going to do a giveaway for a photo prize. So anybody, like any project that you submit will be eligible for both of the giveaways. But basically anyone who, because it's mostly an Instagram challenge, anyone who like frames an on-theme photo. So, again, anything, you can swing it whichever way you like. If you want more, spooky, witchy, if you want to do it more like this is Thanksgiving Harvest Festival, if you want to go, stark, however you want to do it, in whatever creative way you want to do it. I'm excited for this part.
Anna's terribly excited. I mean, I'm also super excited, but
yeah.
Oh, Adam, the puns, you're killing me this morning. Time to decide which yarn you're going to use. Thank you. Oh, I can't get rid of it now. I lost it. There it is.
But yeah, I mean, feel free to celebrate in whichever puritanical way you like. If you want to read your Bible aloud, or cook a pumpkin pie, or accuse someone.
Make my kids sit on their knees while I read the Bible to them.
Yeah, and you're like, perfect.
Kneel by the fire, children. We're gonna read.
Right. Well, one of the There was this picture that I did not use for the challenge, but it was of a young Puritan woman, and she was spinning yarn while there was a book open in her lap, which I thought was super cool. But
It's
it
you. Did they
framing.
find a picture of you from back in the day?
I think they did.
Cool.
And anyways, yeah, addressing the elephant in the room, the Calvinism. I know, but when you're trying to leave the Catholic Church, sometimes you get mixed up in terrible things. It happens to the best of us, even some of my friends.
Even some of my friends. Wow, way to tell it like it is.
But anyways, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I have a stack of prizes that I'm really, really Adam the Necro Monicon. That's not how you pronounce it. I'm not gonna get that right.
Necronomicon?
Adam, right out.
I don't know what it is. Should I?
But
okay.
Oops,
started all those problems. True, but we're not getting into that right now, Tara. Thank you very much.
We're talking today.
Oh gosh.
Anyways,
you guys are my favorite. If I have to be up and online this early in the morning, I'm glad it's with you.
Oh, thanks, man. But yeah, I have. Okay, so I got some of the prizes already. I'm going to add in some additional Yarny prizes to this. But who knew that Plymouth Rock had an online gift store? Because
well, apparently you do.
I do. No, because some of the prizes include it's a little Mayflower, cross stitch ornament kit. We got the first American cookbook here. We have, spooky New England. So there's, we have. Oh, hi.
Hi, I couldn't see you.
Yeah, we have the Plymouth Plantation books, William Bradford. This is very cool because this is like pictures of his handwriting. This one doesn't mess. But
sorry about the noise. Somebody's doing something outside.
Sorry.
The project be 100% black. Yes, it qualifies as long as it is it's 3/4 black. Is charcoal gray eligible, or must it be straight black?
I'm going to have to let everybody do their own judgment, but really it should be black. Like if it's marled a little bit or if it's a little variegated, I'm not going to be splitting hairs. I'm not going to be
like if you get a gray, a black that's got specks in it and stuff to make it easier to see and also, a little more versatile, go for it.
If it's like a heather black, it's like, yeah. So it's one of those, like I said, I'm not going to be, counting how many stripes you have. If it's a slightly striped sweater, if it's exactly, within 3/4, but
this is always an honor system kind of thing. And if you feel confident saying and comfortable with yourself saying that this is black or whatever, then, we're probably not going to fight you on it, but, do the right thing. I tell my kids that having integrity is doing the right thing when nobody's looking. It's conversations I have every day because they're 8 and 10, and these are things that have to be said often. So, hey, Anne's got her America mug.
I do. I actually have a second here because I double fisted it when I brought it out here. I actually have a second mug also. Hey, let's see.
Dude.
Okay, this mug cracks me up because I got it at they got it for $1 at like a used store. Okay, it's the Scarlet Pimpernel. That's not a Scarlet Pimpernel. The pimpernel is a 5-leafed flower, and it doesn't have like any like inner flower layer. Just
So it's just wrong.
It's completely wrong. That's
cool.
It's not even slightly. So
Adam wants to know if one can identify as BIPOC like Elizabeth Warren. Like I said, Adam, integrity. Do the right thing, even though we're not going to be, standing there with our magnifying glass checking the color. So, just saying.
Anyways, yeah, it's
gonna be fun. It's weird, and it's the appropriate time that if you have some extra rope lying around to frame your photo, that would be lovely. See what people say about it, because we know ropes are racist, so always interesting.
I know, it's always good. And also, and again, not as if the Puritans always were like perfect people all the time, because no human beings are.
No.
I love the spirit though. I love the sincerity in seeking freedom to do exactly what you want to do. And by exactly what you want to do, I mean the confines of your own conscience. That's like, no, we're going to structure things, that we are going to structure things to be exactly the way we think is right, and not just kind of, half doing it. And not only that is that, okay, part of this will probably be the Rush Limbaugh Thanksgiving again, because I love Rush Limbaugh Thanksgiving, and also it is very much a part of the story. But that they weren't, like, the Puritans weren't unmovable, entirely harsh people. They were going after, what they believed, their own conscience to say. But like with the founding of the Plymouth colony, that you have like they kind of started out on a communist system that everything went into a common store. And when that didn't work, they moved. They changed it. They said, hey, we were wrong. And then they moved on from there. After a bit, everyone kind of gets stuck in their own ways, but they weren't, like, they were willing to admit, hey guys, we screwed up here. We're going to change, as with policy decisions and everything else.
Right.
And also with the group, it's like, you're free to join and you're free to leave and you're free to live whichever way you like, but this is what we're doing.
Yep. And Neil says seeking the freedom to be miserable, which applies to a lot of people in our day and age. So I guess that this is really quite timely and appropriate.
Well, it's also the pursuit of happiness. Well, you're free to pursue happiness in whichever way you seem fit, which I might look at your happiness and be like, well, that makes you miserable. And you can, flip it back and forth. Right. But we're free to pursue what we like.
Correct. True story. I was always amazed. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff with pilgrims that are, the surname says it all. Okay, so anyway.
Also, anyways, we're gonna do a lot of history facts. We're gonna do a lot of that. I did see, as it scrolled by, Holly said it was her favorite musical. I've actually never seen the musical. I have read a lot of the books. I adore the books. And the Leslie Howard version of the Scarlet Pimpernel is still like one of my favorite films ever. Cool. He does such a good job. Anyways.
Hey, Mystery Mouse, do you have black yarn in your shop? Just out of curiosity. I mean, we love Chicken Lady, but we have other friends that dye yarn, so always feel free to check them out. Mystery Mouse is in the comments today. With Dr. Quinn. Is that the one that you like? The movie with Dr. Quinn, Jane Seymour?
Oh, no? I have seen it. But I didn't like it as well, because I really like
because she's really into the one version. Leave her alone, please. Thank you very much.
It's okay. I will not go on about the difference between.
I've never seen any of them.
Yeah. No, that I don't know. Scarlet Pimpernel. I don't know if you know the basic plot of Scarlet Pimpernel. Okay. Nope. He is officially one of the first masked heroes, or not masked heroes with a secret identity. He didn't actually wear a mask for most of it. But this is written about turn of the century by Baroness Orczy. And she started writing because one of the ladies in her circle started writing for things, and she thought her books were crap. So she said, well, I can write it. I can, write and do better. And she did.
Cool.
But Scarlet Pimpernel is Sir Percy Blakeney, and at home he's just a big fashionable idiot. But he
Oh,
and
you'd have
all
to
of
say this. Okay.
yeah, he and all of his buddies go over to France and rescue aristocrats from the French Revolution.
Cool.
So
So
yeah, lots of daring escapes, lots of disguises, lots of cleverness. Lots of
Yeah.
French women fainting. It's fantastic. I love it.
So it's an amazing book, highly recommend. Okay. Well, thank you. I will look into it. But you said that it was written about the turn of the century. And so yesterday, not involved with this, but one of my students in my crochet class was like, we were talking about books we'd like to read and different things. And one of my students said, I really like old timey stuff, from like 50 years ago before there were cars. And I said, I'm 40, right? We've always had cars.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, when was that? And I'm like, you mean like, the early 1900s, like 120 years? And she's like, yeah, then. And I'm like, yeah, because her mom and I are the same age. And I'm like, so I didn't have computers when I was young, but by the time I was like 15, we had one, like that's as deprived as I was. So
yeah, well, it's kind of like I hear people say this a lot, and also every single time it's like I get it, it's funny, I'm laughing at your joke. Also, I want to punch you in the face. But anyone who's like, oh yeah, if it was like the 1850s and I showed some ankle, so I'd be hung for a witch, and I'm just like, no, not even a little. Not even a little. There's no part of that is actually ugh. Anyways.
Well, it's just funny. When you talk to a 9-year-old, these are the things they think.
Right.
50 years ago, they had no cars. And I'm like,
50 years. Yeah.
How old do you think we are?
Well, and from South Dakota too, the amount of people are like, oh, where are the buffalo at? It's like
There've been no buffalo.
No, it's like we have some buffalo around here. They are in fences like cattle, because they are just big fuzzy cows. And then there's some in Custer State Park. Please do not touch the fuzzy cows. Do not leave your vehicle. Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. No, they're not. But it's not like back in the day where they're just herds of them going across the plains. Like those days are over. Sorry, friends.
The plains all have fences. I'm sorry, guys, not to break up the romance of it all. But I remember I was sitting in a restaurant and it was busy because the local college, it was like graduation weekend or there was some event. Anyways, restaurant filled with out-of-town people were sitting there. And somebody was legitimately saying behind us is like they came to South Dakota and they haven't seen any Indians. And I was laughing so hard.
Do they think they just wander around in their headdresses? I mean,
I don't know. It's like maybe you're not looking that hard. I mean, we go over. It's like, are you looking for the more res area? And also, what?
Yeah, because I mean, like where I live in New York, there's a bunch of reservations nearby, and there's many people who are of Native American descent, but they are not dressing like they are of Native American descent, like you would expect from movies. Like they're just people chilling,
Like you can hardly find a cowboy hat here. Okay, like don't make it weird. Like that's just.
My brain.
Well, that's pretty cool, Adam.
So one kid got sick the first day of co-op. Like co-op was last Friday. They got sick. Got better. Didn't seem like anybody else had it. Now my husband, my other kid, and I all have it. Like all of a sudden, it's like super. There were fevers and my brain hurts. If I could remove from like my ears to like here, I'd be fine. I could function just fine. Wouldn't be that pretty though.
No, it'd be kind of terrifying, just saying.
Yeah, terrifying. Knows right. Tara says it's like when people think everyone in Texas rides horses. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So,
and selfish, she asked if there is a huge cultural center in Rapid City. Probably. But also that is the far western side of the state. I live on the eastern side of the state. So, I mean,
and apparently to get from where Anne lives, because I've talked to her about visiting and then going to see like Rushmore and stuff. So if we drove, it would take like 2 days to get to Anne. And then it would take like another day to get Mount Rushmore. And I'm like, I don't know how committed I am to this idea. Like, I don't know, man. It's pretty.
Center of the state is not an exciting drive. The Black Hills themselves, I mean, I think our lovely little rolling hills over here are very nice. Center of the state, desolate wasteland, and also our capital. It matches. And then you have the Black Hills area. The Black Hills are stunning. They are some of the prettiest area. But also you get the ghost town element too. And can I just this is just a slight aside about, if anyone's interested about South Dakota. No one is. But I'm very happy that when they divided North and South Dakota, they did not divide East and West Dakota, because even though that there's more, you could say, cultural similarities, even though North Dakota, you'll like fall off the face of the earth. To have both Sioux Falls and Fargo in the same state, we'd be as screwed as Minnesota. But the western side of our state actually keeps our politics heckin' based. So I'm very grateful to the, cowboys out there. And
works out.
Oh, and our governor has endorsed Trump, which is fantastic. But it was funny because in the crowd, because Trump came to whatever Republicans gathering, and he gave a speech, and all of that. But there's like people in the sign saying that Trump, gnome. And I don't know if she printed that up or if just somebody else printed them up or who did that. But it's like, no, Kristi Noem is not going to be the VP. Why? Nobody cares about South Dakota. Kristi, I would say, is the best governor in America. Is that because she is free from the tangles of corporatism? No, not at all. No. And not that she doesn't have her own issues. She is at her best because she leaves us alone. And the South Dakotan people are not like, we are not overly fond of our government, and our government has plenty of issues. But for the most part, we are left alone by our government, and that's, the superior proposition.
Yep.
So, yeah. And yeah, having a South Dakotan governor as your VP isn't going to win you any votes with anybody. So, yeah.
No, I mean, the guy from North Dakota is trying to run. I never even heard of him until he started like doing stuff like, so okay. I don't know.
I haven't even heard of him, and I'm from the state down. And not only that, I know he's running. I can't remember his name even off the top of my head.
Nope. Me neither.
But
just saying.
Anyways.
So
anyways, there we go. Little South Dakotan rant there.
South Dakota. Everybody's favorite state. Yeah. So somebody said in the comments, though, it was worth the drive and then the next drive. I'm wondering if it would be better to like fly and rent a car and have you meet us, because that's too far. Although my husband's against flying. We'll have to talk about it some more. It's not time. It's not going to be this year. Maybe next year. We'll see.
Well, it's already, I would say, fall here. Like, it's getting to be that way.
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. If it happened, it would be next year. like spring, not,
And by spring, you mean at least May, right?
right. You may not remember his name, but how can you forget his eyebrows? So, where are the flying cars we were promised? Yeah, there are no flying cars, Adam, but we can get AI that can make songs and make it look like famous people are doing sex acts on each other. So I don't know, is that a win?
Or Frank Sinatra singing Uptown Funk, however you want to do
I
the.
haven't seen that. I don't want to see that.
Now, I get a lot of weird YouTube recommendations. But I like Frank as Frank, not as,
Yeah,
zombie Frank. I'm against it.
I concur. So
Just say no to necromedia. Just don't do it.
oh my god. So
anyways, and of course, just a little bit back to the knit along thing. If anybody has any questions, feel free. Any clarification?
There's no rule on like project size and stuff, right?
No.
And there's no rule as far as if it's already started, that's okay.
Awesome.
I was telling Anne, in a perfect world, I found a vest for like a sweater vest kind of pattern that I thought would be great for the winter. It would be nice and black, but we'll see if I can actually get around to doing it. So I forgot, but I have to make a Christmas stocking for a girl that I went to high school with. Her mom wants me to make one for her daughter-in-law. And me being me, I said, sure. And then afterwards I went, why did I say yes? Because I do.
Well, as I was telling PK earlier this week, that there was somebody who messaged me that had bought a hat from me ages ago. And she's like, oh no, my cat ate it. Can you make another one? And I'm just like deep in my soul, like, ugh. Yes, I can make another one. And then she messaged back saying, oh no, we looked at it closer and it was just snagged. We can patch it up. It's fine. I don't need a hat from you. I'm like, thank goodness. I am so glad, even though, loss of income and everything else. I'm like, perfect. Excellent. I'm so glad. I'm so happy for you.
I don't need that income. Thank you very much. This comment is too funny to pass. Uptown Funk, Bruno Mars is Michael Jackson ordered on Wish. Yeah. And Tara's gonna do the Audrey sweater in black. Audrey sweater is by
Devin
Nitty McPurley.
Yeah.
And it's really pretty.
So my mother, who wins at everything, is actually doing an Audrey sweater in black. She started it months ago. But working on it slowly. Fingering weight in Chicken Lady Blackety Black. She wins.
Nice. Did you make this so that your mother can win prizes? Because I know that she's just into the weird nonsense as you are, so.
That's true. And she is certainly quicker with her American history facts than I am. Woman's very clever. But it also requires her. Oh, yeah. Okay. Which is the worst. It shouldn't be the worst. Okay, South Dakota has this really great climate for business, and the government. We're running a surplus. Our state's not in debt. Hey, California. But we're throwing our money at stupid things. Some of the things aren't stupid, like building roads. Some of the other things are weird, like undercutting people property value when they're eminent domaining property to build, like eminent domaining property for road expansions. Or one time I heard of a case, it was like an apartment complex that they eminent domained. Oh, see, Dad's in the chat. He knows way more than I do. So anyways, we've had a lot of property rights legal things going on lately. With South Dakota, like I said, throwing property, they're undercutting people value and land generally in South Dakota. when it comes to farmland is expensive because we're prime farmland where we have very flat, very fertile ground, and you can get a lot of corn or whatever on it. Yeah, Candra says pipelines. That there was recently, I mentioned it before, but a CO2 pipeline development that I'm so happy that thing got slapped down. It was a huge thing that they had illegally put surveyors on people's land, armed surveyors, and there was one instance of them entering a farmhouse without knocking, and the husband was out, the wife was in the shower, and strangers walked into her house. That they seemed to be kind of wanting to provoke some sort of armed dispute. And yeah, it was terrible, but luckily that's gone. Hopefully it doesn't go forward anymore. But yeah, a CO2 pipeline, just stupid. I don't know if I actually made any sense with any of that. But yeah, I love the reason I love the state of South Dakota the most is it is Hobbiton. Okay. And it's like, oh, it's Hobbiton because it's lovely rolling fields. It's like, no, well, yes, but it's Hobbiton because nobody cares about us and we get overlooked. That is the best part. So
Yeah.
Move to a red state, they're mostly going to Florida and Texas. And while South Dakota physically could use the employees, the getting left alone thing is aces. And then we have those brutal winters. So we're like any Russian land war that some people just can't take it and go. Also very helpful.
Sorry about the noise. The planes from the nearby War Museum are flying today, apparently.
Oh, fun.
It's a nice day, so it's kind of cool. Adam wanted to know how far Mount Rushmore is from you, and your dad says 8 hours at 80 miles per hour. Are you guys allowed to drive 80 in your state?
Yeah, that was a couple years ago that they did this simultaneous thing where they upped the tax on gas, which was funny. But at the same time, they're like, yeah, but on the interstate, you can drive 80 miles an hour. And we're all like, you bought us off. Awesome.
Yeah. I was looking at the flying cars.
Yeah, it is so sad when you cross the border from South Dakota into Minnesota, because South Dakota has, not that all of our roads are awesome, but the roads are very wide, that we do large ditches, and you can, go faster on the highways and interstates. And then you jump into Minnesota and it's clunk because the roads are appreciably worse and the speed limit is down by like 10 miles an hour. And you're like, I'm going so slow. But you okay? Sorry, everyone. Sorry. You sneezed and my internet went fuzzy. So
what? Sorry, guys. No, it's 65 here. It's 65 here, and that was a big deal when we made it 65. And then, like, when you get to Florida, it's not 80. 70? Oh no, are we good? So,
nope.
Anyway. Gosh, I look tired today. I can't stand it. Can I just put you on the screen, Anne?
Oh,
She's all bright and fresh, ready to go to her fiber festival, and I'm like, I wish I was still inside my bed.
Don't we all, though? Don't we all?
No. My little one was fever and sweating and nonsense, and it was not that restful of a night. That's okay. Because you know why? Grandma's coming today with the chicken so I can make the soup so that we can all feel better tomorrow.
Excellent.
That's the plan.
Best day ever.
So
Catherine asked,
have you been knitting?
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Catherine asked what the CO2 is for. Total BS. That is what it's for. Complete and utter.
CO2. Why do they need a line for it? I'm confused.
Stupidity. And not only that, when they had proposed the line for it, they weren't even how they did it is they went directly through where people's houses would be and also bisecting property. So they're not like, hey, we're going to take this land, but we're going to take like this little bit of your field off to the side and we're going to pay you for it. Oh, no, 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 no. We're going straight through the middle where your house is. That is where
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, I hope you don't like that house that much because, yeah, good luck and Godspeed.
Yeah,
So,
I hope you don't mind that your property will become almost unusable to you. And that's not even including the fact that your house is gone.
yeah.
So, anyways, they suck.
Tara says it's just corporate welfare and indulgences for the climate change god and messing around with farmers. So there you go.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Anyways, you said knitting.
Yeah, have you knit this week?
Yeah, I knit this week. I'm
cool.
a knitter.
Anything fun?
I have this blanket. I should have finished on a row. I kind of intended to knit while we were talking, but then I got excited.
And then we got talking. I'm sorry.
Anyways, but yeah, it's probably like 8 wide.
It's still blanketing.
It's blanketing. I'm going to run out of yarn for it. I have some red yarn to do a corner. Hopefully that doesn't look too wacky. But yeah, I have that. I almost re-knit both of the sock heels on the socks I had to pull apart and then put in timeout. Cool. Because I'm totally one of those people that's like, yes, I will pull something out, but I will almost never immediately jump back on it once I pull something out, especially if it's any significant amount. Like if it's a couple rows, yeah, I'll keep going. But if I have to rip out a bunch of it, it's just like, I will put it back on the needles and I will set it to the side.
Yeah. So, in my knitting class yesterday, the kids were complaining about having to like take stitches out or something, and I'm like, guys, never become a designer if you don't like to reknit your stuff, because even me who tries not to, like sometimes you just have to. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute and see if I can get one of my kids to bring me my knitting. Hang on a second. Talk among yourselves.
Well, Neil asked if the blanket was my own design, and I can tell you the whole design right now, which is starting with 5 stitches. Ugh. Here. Which is starting with, no, maybe it was 4 stitches. 4 stitches because it was an even number. I keep margin stitch, which is knit 1 every row. So the first row would be, knit, yarn over, knit 1, purl 1, yarn over, knit. And then on my next rows, I twist my yarn over. Anyways, I'm just doing big knit purl blocks basically. And once I get to 20 stitches, then I switch the knitting to the purling. And that's not very well. It is a little early for me to be explaining technical things, even though I just had a whole thing. You can see what it is. It's giant knit. They're giant squares. Yeah, giant basket squares.
It's cute. I like it.
It's nice. It'll be good. It's, cozy.
Yeah. I haven't gotten very far since Tuesday. I think I was working on this on Knitting Wars, but I have gotten farther on my, this is the side I was working on, so there's more beads over there. So this is the pattern I'm working on for my students. They did their broken rib. They're starting on this week. Mm-hmm. And some of them didn't have their homework done. I said, next week you have to have your homework done because we're doing lace. And I want to be able to work with you through it because it's not hard, but you need to understand the pattern, Yeah. So the lace section, obviously, if this was blocked, it would be much nicer to see. Mm-hmm. But I've been working on the beaded section. So there's that.
Nice.
So, and I told Ann, but I didn't mention it to you guys, when my kids broke a tooth. And so the day off that I had this week, they're fine. It's a baby tooth. We knew that, but we weren't sure if it was still like the roots were still connected. We didn't want an infection. So the roots aren't connected. It just needs to come out. It's fine. Everybody's fine.
That
But
hurts
that
though.
was the only day off I had this week. And so the knitting didn't really happen, unfortunately.
Right.
That's okay.
No. Anything with teeth is just
Yeah.
bad.
It was a long, long day, and that's okay. And by the time we got home, everybody was very tired. Oh, and then that day I had been doing all the laundry, so I had to make all the beds. By the time we got home from our ordeal, and my kids had bunk beds. And so I'm trying to climb up the bunk beds to make them. And I'm like, where are your guys' sleeping bags? Like, do we have to do this right now? But it worked out. So anyway, that's why I don't knit, because life has just gotten, I tell you guys this all the time. It's just the season of life I'm in. Homeschooling, working. Next month I stop working. I should have more time to knit, more time to like be a person. We'll see. Hopefully this stuff goes away. It was the first week of co-op, so hopefully that'll be, our immunity will be up after this and we'll be fine. We'll laugh at all the rest of the families that keep being sick, right?
Right. Good. Good for you.
So that's my knitting. Do you want to talk any other stuff?
Well, I mean, there are a couple of news things. We have, I don't know, our own government, as in federal, not local, is just plain depressing.
Hang on, I want to answer this question. My kids make their own beds, but because they're bunk beds, they have the wood on the mattress and they are not strong enough to lift it up. So I have to put their fitted sheets on because I can barely lift up the bottoms of them. So yes, someday they will be stronger and I won't. But until then, I have to put the sheets on because it's too difficult. So there you go. Sorry. Now y'all know about that. What, Ann?
Sometimes that's just how it be.
I think she froze. What was that?
No, just that's how it is. Anyways.
That is how it is. Some days bunk beds are not easy. I know that from cleaning. I hate making bunk beds because I clean houses. And then I bought my kids one. And then I went, the heck was I smoking when I did this? This was a bad idea.
Space efficiency? What?
Oh, man. Because, yeah, they could make their own beds if they weren't stacked on top of each other in the corner. But anyway, moving on. Oh, Anne was telling me last night that they've done a study that says that the medicine, the cough suppressant inside of Dayquil is as effective as a placebo. I don't know. I've been taking it. I feel fine. So we'll see.
I don't know. I take a lot of Dayquil, so it's like, have I been placeboed this whole time? But why has my nose stopped running? I don't get it.
Right.
You know,
no, I took it before this, and now I feel better.
Yeah,
so.
Snot, no snot. I wouldn't think that's like a mental thing. That's just snot.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, Teresa.
Nobody makes beds. Yeah.
No, Teresa says making your bed is dangerous. You'll throw your back out. Thoughts and prayers to Tabitha, who snapped something. Poor gal.
She did.
Well, not actually snapped. She
okay.
More herniated than snapped, but yeah, she was a lot of pain. Sorry, Tabs.
It must have been an early morning decision. It was an early morning decision. Don't you guys do that where you have like the best ideas? Like you wake up and you're like, I feel great. I'm going to do like 800 things. And then by like 10 o'clock, you're like, what was I thinking? Mm-hmm. I did not think about future me at all. And now I'm stuck doing this. It's terrible.
It's okay. Jordan Peterson would be proud of you.
Neil says there's nothing better at the end of the day than getting into a me-shaped hole in the sheets. Well, I was telling Ann last night because my kid crawled into my bed last night and promptly put herself to sleep while we were on the phone and was using the blanket as a Kleenex. So there's more laundry in my future today. Ann's totally grossed out. Me, once somebody's crapped on you, there's really not much else that can happen, or thrown up on you, which have both happened with both my kids. So
It's all downhill from there. You know, it's just.
I mean, really, yeah, bunk beds are a blessing and a curse. NyQuil used to have 10% alcohol in it. That'll make anyone feel better. It's like doing a shot. Maybe that's why I liked it so much when I was younger.
I once knew a dude, and this would have been in the past. I don't know, maybe this is like 6 years ago. But he was talking about he was a guy from Ireland, like Northern Ireland proper. And he was talking about when he was sick this one time and he had like 3 bottles of NyQuil. And I'm like, dude, that's a lot. That's
Yeah.
that would knock out several horses. Like that. What are you? I know that you got that good Irish blood and you can probably take a lot of abuse, but also that, ooh.
Right.
Like one little cup and I'm.
You're too funny. So, I'm sorry. I did not mean to get off on a rant about NyQuil and stuff while you were trying to talk about news.
I mean, it is news. Oh, okay. Some vague news stuff. So Rishi Sunak has nothing better to do in any of his duties of Prime Minister of England than to ban American XL bully dogs. Basically pit bulls. It's a pit bull ban because, again, he has nothing better to do. And the Conservative Party is putting out that, like, yeah, we're going to have, you know, we're going to have proper definitions of a breed of dog and everything. It's like, great, awesome, just fantastic. You know, not any knife crimes, not any, you know, failing infrastructure, not, you know, immigration going wild, not any grooming gangs.
Well, there's no other problems bigger than the dogs.
Yeah, they're not like, for example, reversing that stupid thing that they do where they tax all of the cars older than a certain year that are on the road, which is that policy, though, is crumbling because of the Blade Runners, and bless them, that they're cutting down all the traffic cameras. There's about, there's, I think, 1/3 of them are gone.
Mm-hmm.
But,
cool.
Anyways,
here he needs to ban men from women's spaces as fast as he did that, right? Like the stuff that they think is important is just so dumb, for real.
And Holmes, I think your Grams was right.
Ooh, yeah. Honey and a shot of whiskey. I'll take some. Yeah. Once Grandma's here, because then she knows that the plan is that I'm gonna be less in charge and she'll be more in charge. That's the nice thing about when she comes. But okay, so you can't have pit bulls in England. Are there a lot of pit bulls in England that they needed to outlaw?
I suppose so.
Neil, I would like some stats on that. Thank you.
Yeah.
We need to ban rich globalist Indian men with no self-awareness and a wife who does not pay taxes from living in 10 Downing Street. So there you go.
Fair enough. But
okay. Yes?
No, sorry. You look cold.
I am. All of a sudden the wind started blowing and now I'm like
and speaking of things banned before 2008, which is, or 2000, I think Cars was before 2007, but in Southern Ontario, one of the school libraries have taken out every book published before the year 2008. And
Why?
Also anything that they think is problematic, that they have year 0, basically, when it comes to books. Because any sort of socialist proposition does not work anyways. but let's please make sure that the kids have zero worldview context that they do. And I mean, I know that the girl in your student, the girl who is your student, is like, oh, she just doesn't know about what time cars came around. But
Yeah.
it's like, let's not give her or any other child any more historical context than the crap that we hand them, that they could possibly learn from any book. Anyways, so they're taking all of the books off the shelf in sort of a weird retaliation effort. And they're not just like giving away the books, they are destroying them. So, any Dickens,
Okay,
Jane
so I'm sure you said, where is this?
in Ontario, in Canada. It's a school
We've
library.
got to talk to Melanie.
Yeah.
I got to know what's going on. I told you something else I wanted to ask her about. So, yeah. Neil, I wanted to know how many pit bulls there are in England to make this a thing. He went to make a coffee. He missed it. So, there you go. How many pit bulls there are to make that into a big deal that he needed to make a law about it or whatever. That's terrifying, though, the whole book thing, because, like, off the top of my head, actually, I think, like, every book my kids and I are reading this year is way older than that.
Well,
I've got Neighbor the Stars, and I've got, like, a whole bunch of different books that we're reading because, yeah, history.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it bans everything from, Gulliver's Travels to Anne Frank to, to Harry Potter, even, that Harry Potter is recent enough.
How can you? My kids would die. My kids are obsessed with Harry Potter.
Well, I mean, on one hand, they're changing Roald Dahl books and James Bond books, or James Bond books are probably not in your kids' library, but still,
No,
like, they're still changing them. And the newest James Bond book has come out. I don't know if you've heard any buzz about it, but it's basically, white Trump supporter evil. Like, that's the villain. That's the whole, like, anti-vaxxer is a part of the villain's moniker.
Of course it is.
It's just like, yes. I'm sure this is exactly what Fleming thought of when he wrote his books. That this is true. Anyways. Sorry.
Terrifying. I forgot Adam lives in Canada too, so there you go.
Gosh, he's double screwed.
Sorry, dude. Sucks to be you. I mean, it's going to come here too, but at least for now, I can say that.
Yeah, Teresa, they're going to rewrite 1984 from a woman's perspective.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I don't need that.
And also, it's like, by a woman, do they mean Julia's perspective? Because, like, okay, the Winston in 1984 is not necessarily a good guy, but he's at least more introspective. Julia is just, she's just awful. Why would you want this story from her side?
No.
Anyways.
Oh, wow. Josh Slocum lives in Canada. Oh, yeah. Vermont. I love Vermont. It's a beautiful place. Trump is all about vax. How can anti-vax be Trumpish? I think that they just take things they don't like and put it on the Trump thing. So that's all.
And I mean, some props to Trump that he said in the South Dakota speech, actually, that we are, that, like, we are totally against lockdowns, any of the stupidity, the rest of it. So, good for him that way. But kind of the thing with Trump, and it's something I've said before, Trump inherited his base. And his base loves him because he actually does what his base wants. And Trump went, oh no, virus, roll out vaccine. And his base went, no. Like, there are a certain number of Republicans, Ben Shapiro, who went all for the vax, which I suppose it's their right to. And even Ben Shapiro, weasel as he is, he did say that it was a personal choice thing, and good for him. Daily Wire or anti-vax mandate again. Credit where credit is due. But yeah, there was a certain segment of it. But the vast majority of the Trump base said, "Screw the man. We're not going to take it." And it is one of those issues where the man has to follow the people sometimes more than the people follow the man. Even though there's lots of people like, oh, Trump supporters, they just do anything he says. They just do this, they just do that. No. And even the listless vessel line, which I know there was more context to it than that, but it's like, oh, well, you just hate Ron DeSantis because Trump told you to hate Ron DeSantis. Like, I don't know that I hate Ron DeSantis, but he's turned out a weasel and his poll numbers are trash. Trump's like 40 points ahead plus.
Yeah. I don't like Ron DeSantis for other reasons, but thanks for telling me why I don't like him. That's super great.
Yeah. And like,
I'm so tired of it.
Yeah. I don't know. Vivek the other day, there was a video of him doing some bizarro TikTok dance with, I think, Jake Paul.
Why?
It was essentially yeah, I don't know. He was doing the Herod, you are the Christ dance, basically. That's not what the song was, and that's not what he was specifically referencing, but that's what it looked like.
Interesting.
Anyways, it was yeah. Props to Vivek, wherever he is in it. He is enthused. He is the first to raise his hand, but also it's like, I don't know.
Yep.
He says very much the correct thing. Anyways, yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I don't have anything. I was gonna say you're apologizing, and I'm just sitting here trying to follow the thread of conversation you are carrying us yet again. Thank you very much.
I know, I feel like I'm all over. I do have a couple of other things. California is bailing out the Writers Guild, which is super exciting. Yeah, Candra's right.
You told me this last night, and I'm like,
Candra's right. Vivek is running for VP. So I mean, props for him for running for VP. I mean, if he wants to do that, good for him. Yep. But also, it's like he's still running against Trump, and nobody on the Republican debate stage was serious. Okay, everyone is desperate. Everybody is send money now to sendmoneynow.com. Desperate but not serious, as old Adamant says. That they're just, their hair is on fire, but they have no actual, traction going forward in any directions. And Trump is, from that way, the only serious candidate. Even Vivek will say things about free speech. So I'm like, oh, awesome. But he will stop short when it comes to election issues. And you really, really need to sink your teeth into that. And a lot of election issues are local issues every single time and not federal issues. But still, that he won't even verbally go there is an issue.
Yeah.
But, anyways, sorry, California. So the writers' strike is ongoing. The actors have joined them, and part of it being a strike is that you voluntarily stop working in order to strike. And California is now like, it's okay, you can be on unemployment, which sucks because a lot of them are contract workers, which means that they haven't paid into unemployment. It's the Californian government who is paying for people to strike against the movie industry, right, under this misguided thing of, oh, well, the movie industry is, what supports California. So we should bail out people not working for the movie industry. So the movie industry then pays more money that we can tax. Is that the thing? And not only that, it is government welfare bribery. And I know a lot of people in the writers' strikes are going to be lefties anyways, but that is, mean, not a protection money, but kind of. It's that idea of, don't you want every single person who is writing for Hollywood to have a favorable view of government welfare? Because in their mind, they couldn't have possibly survived without the government, even though you could have got another job while you're, on writer's strike. The people whinging that they're one of the okay, so the writers are striking so that there's more writers on the project, and more writers on the project give us such gems as Rings of Power and She-Hulk. So Adam says keep that strike going. Never have so many writers done so little of value. They
Yeah.
have been the worst. But one of the writers for She-Hulk only got $600 for the one episode he participated in. It's like, oh, isn't that terrible? I'm like, you're overcompensated, buddy. But
Yeah.
Shelley Williams says that they're hinting that Gavin Newsom is trying to, him and his creepy Joker smile and the greasy hair. He is
I hate that dude.
doing the world tour.
No.
And I can get not wanting to run Biden and Kamala is useless, obviously. But also, Biden was useless, and somehow he's sitting in the Oval Office. So let's see how we are.
Yep. I don't see anybody crying over the strike. We aren't missing a thing. I haven't even noticed that it's been going on. So I guess that shows you where we're at.
I know. I think that's a lot of people too. Like, oh yeah, that's a thing. It's like, yeah, there's.
Yeah. Neil wants to know if Hunter was arrested. I didn't hear that, but then again,
I know he was indicted on gun stuff again. No mugshot out from Hunter Biden, but I don't know exactly arrested or exactly procedurally where that is at. But I know there was an indictment.
yeah.
But yeah. Well, I don't know. They're on a much more depressing note.
Oh, good.
Personally depressing note is that Mark Stein is not doing well. His health after his that he did a cruise that he had advertised a lot this summer, and after that he was taken immediately to a hospital, and he has done some things on his website, but there is no steady Stein show. He did they have these Clubland Q&A things that he does, and he did have good enough health to do that, but he kind of started off his program making it that he said that he'll do no health bulletins, but that of a Viscount, and I can't remember the Viscount's name, him saying it kind of shocked the name out of my head, that it's like that his life is quietly drawing to a close. And he's like, well, if you knew the Viscount, there was no quiet about it. He had quite a rambunctious life. And Stein is still doing his lawsuits. He's still going forward with the Ofcom free speech thing, and basically proving in court that Ofcom did not Ofcom said that you couldn't have COVID misinformation, and he said that the quote misinformation was correct, and the lack of other information in British media had appreciable hurt to people's health. So doing that in court, there's still the Stein versus Mann case that he's doing in America, which is a free speech issue talking about climate change, and he's also that was the hockey stick graph. So that's trial has been going on for like 10 years now. And Stein said the hockey stick graph is crap. And Mann sued him and continues to sue him and everything else as sort of a defamation thing. And again, proving in court legally that the other side was in fact wrong is very important. Anyways, but yeah, it's a sad thing. He's no longer doing Song for the Week either, which is, if you like a little bit of musical history of different songs, that is, they're all on his website for free, Stein Online. But yeah, that's that's a rough thing because he is one of the few stalwart 4 years voices of free speech.
Yes. So that's upsetting. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, happens to us all, unfortunately.
It does, but isn't he younger? I didn't think he was that old.
Not terribly old, but I mean, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Well.
So.
All right. Well.
On that note.
I have to go. I was telling Anne a little bit, but one of my cousins is getting married, and my mother is doing the dress alterations, and I have been helping.
Woohoo!
So I have to go run and do some stuff before she comes to try on her dress again. So I did get my kids to bring me this, though. It's our giveaway. Chicken Lady Fiber Arts ornament kit, yarn, stuffing, measuring tape, fun stuff. Enter to win by commenting on the not live version of this video, because live comments, they go somewhere. It's hard to find them again. Mm-hmm. So
it is 100 days until Christmas. It is that time. I know. I got an email this morning that said 100 days till Christmas, get your craft projects in. So 100 days until Christmas, get your craft projects in.
All right.
But also,
so, if it's going to be a black craft project, then
exactly
join the Puritanical Knitting Fun Run.
Exactly. No running involved. Purely
no actual
hyperbolic running. I don't know if the Puritans are like the Quakers and they don't do any exaggeration with their words, but probably. Anyways, so baby 20 PIK for 20% off your order to Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. Check out her excellent yarns. They're lovely. They're soft. If you have to make a Christmas gift, make one that's fun for you to make. Come on.
Yeah.
Be thinking those Christmassy thoughts. But yeah, check her out. It's good. Join again. The Puritanical Knitting Fun Run starts in October through November. By the days, it's going to be a good time. Get your black yarn ready. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
2/3 of your project should be black yarn.
3/4, but okay.
Oh, 3/4?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Excuse me. 3/4 of your yarn of your project should be black, and it can already be started.
Yes.
Doesn't matter how big it is. So, use your judgment. And it should be mostly black.
Do a pretty picture because, again, everyone who finishes will be entered in the big giveaway, but also there will be a photo challenge. Not sure who we're going. Yes, black yarn matters. Not sure who's going to judge yet. It won't be either of us. We'll get a third party to judge, but we'll figure that out. It'll be fun.
Cool.
All
right, friends. Thanks for joining us today, bearing with us with our whatever. And we will see you soon. Check out Chicken Lady, baby 20 PIK for 20% off her yarn. And we'll see you guys next week.
All right. See you guys then.
Bye.
Bye.